It was a 20 pack of condoms and herpes medication and a Polaroid of some guy. It looks like he's in Mexico and there's a stripper on his lap. Over the past 20 years in the car business, I've sold a few thousand cars, which also means I've bought a few thousand cars, unless I was a scammer and sold a whole bunch of cars that I never bought, which some people do. That makes for interesting news stories, but that's not how I roll. And you find some interesting things in cars. Now, I haven't found really crazy things because we don't do like the real hyper exotic stuff, so we're not getting cars traded in from like international drug lords and stuff like that, although I did sell a car to somebody who is alleged to be one of those, but I can't tell that story ever. Anyway, so I found some fairly interesting things, and they came along with some funny stories attached to them. But you certainly develop patterns of things that you always find. We've got drawers full of garage door openers and hats and stickers and sunglasses. I had a really amazing sunglass collection going for quite a while that included Raven-Symoné's old Burberrys, which I unfortunately left in an airport, and a pair of very effeminate sunglasses, which I still have, that were traded in a Hummer H2 that had a sticker on it that said, "Life is short, drive a Hummer naked." I did not leave that sticker on when I was driving it around. However, one of the more fun, well, I guess less fun at the time, but more funny ones was what came in a Taurus wagon. Now, this is not one that I bought through the dealership. This is one that my parents bought. Speaking of terrible cars that my parents owned, it was the bulbous era with the round headlights and round rear window and round everything, and it was Jewish racing gold. It was that old man color, but I had a lot of fun in that car regardless. My parents wondered why the transmission went so soon, but I took it on a road trip to Canada and to visit my sister, and on the way back the car did get searched because my sister's boyfriend's like toy guns or something like that were in the back, and the customs agent got a little freaked out. But anyway, made it through customs, and that's relevant because about a month later my dad called me. He was out of town doing some work, and he's like, "Son, is there anything you want to tell me?" I'm like, "I'm not falling for that trap." I'm like, "Maybe, but no." I'm not going to guess and be wrong. No, Dad, no. Are you sure? Not that I can think of. He goes, "Well, I found this bag under the driver's seat of the Taurus." It's like, phew, okay, nope, definitely don't know about that. That wasn't what I was thinking of, so no idea. He goes, "Well, it's got weed in it." I was like, "Dad, you know I'm straight edge. Like, I wouldn't know weed if I saw it. Like, seriously?" He goes, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed it was you." And then he goes on to go, "Yeah, it looks pretty old and it looks like bad weed anyway." I'm like, "See, you know weed. I don't know weed. Why are you calling me?" So anyway, apparently it was stuck under the seat from when we bought it from the dealer, and it worked its way out. But thankfully it didn't work its way out during my customs search at the border, because that would have been a real problem. So that was narrowly avoided, somewhat disaster. I got a breathalyzer one time in an Audi R8 V10. That was an odd one, but I guess I'm glad that somebody's responsible before they get into their car and drive home. But that was the first time I had seen that. I have a customer that would keep leaving his leather sandals in his car. He would keep getting shipped different BMWs to my shop and take stuff out of those cars, and always has leather sandals in his car. And then I got a Corvette C4 on trade with 20-inch bling rims, and this was back when I was doing everything myself, and so I detailed the interior. It was a smoker's car, and I probably pulled about $30 out of it, 30 lighters, and a whole collection of like American flag and eagle pocket knives. Just lots and lots of pocket knives. One of the coolest things though was this vintage 50s era child seat that came out of a Porsche 356 Coupe from 1959, a highly original car. It was so original that there was even some bodywork repairs that had been done in its era with the lead repair as opposed to like the more modern filler. So the repairs had been done in that era. So it was kind of cool to see that it had been a survivor car the whole time. But this child seat, we got it from the original owner's son, and they said that this seat was what they rode in when they were a little kid around in the car. Man, you talk about safety protocol, there was none. It was basically like a few blocks of wood that had some like wallpaper over them and just, metal rods here for armrests and a little leather strap that would barely hold my pants up. And that was the child seat, and it just sat on the rear shelf. So that's cool. I still have that seat. I don't know why. I have no nostalgic connection for me to it, but it's just a cool little thing to have, I guess. Of course, I got a 57 Bel Air one time, which had the quintessential giant stuffed tiger in it, which I kept around as a shop mascot for a while until a delivery guy came to the shop one time, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I've been wanting one of those for a long time. I've been trying to buy one, whatever." And I was like, "Okay, you can have it." And he thought like it was the greatest thing ever. I was like, all right, have a stuffed tiger. Should have taken it to some car shows and put it on the engine of my Corvette with some mirrors under the hood too, but I didn't. The craziest thing ever, all of these are just like funny things. And I'm like, there's no real nutty thing that we've ever found in a car until last year. A good friend of mine traded in his E46 M3 on a Ferrari 348. Excellent decision. My guys were cleaning the car out, and they're like, "We found some odd stuff in the car." It's like, "Oh yeah, what?" "Well, we threw it out, but we had to use gloves. It was kind of gross." I'm like, "Okay." They're like, "You know the guy though, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's a friend of mine." What was it? Like, well, it was a 20 pack of condoms and herpes medication and a Polaroid of some guy. It looks like he's in Mexico and there's a stripper on his lap. It's like, that's quite the trio. You kept the Polaroid, right? "No, we threw it out." I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, this is a good friend of mine. He's a man of character. He's a family guy. He's a Christian. And I'm like, this is really disturbing if this is his stuff. I was like, I'm not sure how to approach this though. So I just like called him up. I was like, "Hey Tim, I found some weird stuff in your car." He's like, "What?" So I had to just tell him. I was like, because he had no clue. And I told him. He's like thinking about it, and then he just starts laughing. Like, "Tim, please tell me this isn't your stuff. Like, I don't want you to have skeletons in your closet. I respect you more than that." He's like, no. It's like, "I bought the car from a friend of mine, and he died a couple years ago. And after I bought the car and after he died, we went in and like cleaned out his house, and we went in, and it was just like stacked. It was like hoarder style of dirty magazines and all sorts of different paraphernalia that went along with what we found in the trunk of his car." So he goes, "That tracks. That was totally his." Now, it wasn't just laying in the trunk. It was like in one of the side compartments in the trunk that like the first aid kit would be in. So obviously Tim never found it or whatever, but it was a scary moment because of course when you find something like that attached to one of your friends, you go, they weren't the person they thought I was. But thankfully Tim's character remains unscathed, and that was the craziest thing we ever found in a car.
AutoTempest is the best way to search for your next car because they compile all the results from all over the internet, all the major listing sites into one place with one search. We've always loved them for that, but it's getting even better because they're now beta testing their new simple search, and you can access that right now by using the link in the description below or the QR code on your screen. So gone are the days of endless drop-down menus of year, make, model, trim, all the things, unless you want to because it is still there. But now you can just type in one simple search string and let AutoTempest do the rest. We've always loved that AutoTempest lets you get the results from everywhere without having to go to each site and search for the same thing over and over again, but now they're making it even easier easier with their simple search. So check them out now to thank them for their support of VinWiki and find your next car on AutoTempest.